Good morning, my fellow light explorers. Today I'm at the gorgeous subway in Zion National Park. So stick around, it's gonna be a fun day. Hey guys, so it's around 7:20 in the morning. I'm at the parking lot at the Left Fork trailhead and headed towards the subway. It's a bottom-up hike. It's around 8 miles round trip, and the first half a mile is on a trail before you descend 400 feet into the canyon, and then simply follow the creek up to the subway. It's around 35 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not too cold, and it should be a nice partly cloudy day, so we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, it's pretty. There's no one else around right now, and hopefully I get there before I get to Archangel Falls, before the direct sunlight hits the falls. There's your North Creek, and we are gonna hike up all the way in that direction. But to get down there, we have to first go down this path around 400 feet. It's a rocky, sandy, and there's no clear marked trail. It's a little bit treacherous. Nothing too bad, but you gotta be careful here. Alright guys, so I'm down. It took me around 15 to 20 minutes. I was right up there, and I came down, scrambled down the cliffside over loose rock and dirt, and here is your sign. And on the way back, actually, you got to find this sign to climb right back up to the trailhead. A lot of folks, they go past half mile or so, and they're tired, they're cranky, and it's not fun. The trick is, on the way back, look for this cliff. It's dark rock, and once you see this, you head towards that cliffside. Alright, so now we're gonna head towards the subway. There's a very little trail en route. It's about 3.2 or 3.3 miles from here, and you have to cross the creek multiple times, wade in the water, and in March end or April, with the spring snow melt, this hike becomes a little hard because of the water levels. In certain areas you can't cross the creek, but you have to scramble up boulders and rocks, so it's harder. But I personally find the rewards of coming here in spring incredible, because the water levels are high and Archangel Falls is just beautiful. I'll show you some photos in the end. I've come here in all seasons, and I think while fall is the best known season to come here, I personally find April to be the best month if you like waterfalls and you want that milky effect of the water against red rock. So here's our first crossing. We have to go across to the trail on that side, and honestly, in this kind of environment, don't bother to try and avoid getting in the water, because you'll waste too much time. Eventually you'll have to get in the water. Now, a lot of people, they tend to rent gear at these outfitters, you know, these canyoneering shoes and neoprene socks, etc. And I did that too for the first 2 times I came here, and then it becomes expensive fairly fast because I think they charge like $45 plus taxes for the shoes and the socks. But what I did was I actually bought myself Colombia's drain maker shoes. I found them on Amazon for $40 and they're water shoes. Then I bought these neoprene socks from Argos, and they are 4 millimeters thick, and they have served me really well to do all these water hikes, including the Narrows. And for the Narrows, I got myself one of those wet suit pants, I guess, for like $27, $28 on Amazon. So the initial outlay was there, but it's more than paid itself off because I've been to a lot of these hikes. That's where we came from, guys, up there. It is around 8:20 in the morning and I've been hiking for around an hour. You can see on this hiking project's map view that I'm halfway through, so it takes around between 2 and 2.5 hours if you hike at a brisk pace. Now, I know of people who've hiked this in about an hour and a half, and these guys go real fast. But yeah, it's a nice day so far. The water levels are not high at all, so it's nice. And I should be there around 9:40ish, 9:45ish with some breaks. So let's keep going. Alright guys, so I've been hiking for an hour and 20 minutes now, and I'm a little over halfway, the distance between the trailhead and the subway. One very cool feature is around this midway point there are these massive dinosaur tracks which a lot of people miss. So let me show you. Right there on those 2 white rocks are these dinosaur tracks, and if you come here, keep a lookout for this cliff right here, and when you are abreast of this cliff, those tracks are on those 2 rocks. Those rocks are about roughly 20 feet or 25 feet in height at a 45-degree incline. So the path, you can see, literally passes by the dino tracks, but most people don't know about them, so they miss out on seeing these tracks. So let's cross over here, and what I do is normally I make this my breakfast point. It's halfway between the trailhead and the subway, so it's a good point to sit down and have breakfast. So don't miss these tracks, and what I would say is stop by on the way in, because on the way out there's direct light falling on these tracks and the sun sort of washes out the tracks. So here is the pathway, and these 2 rocks have the tracks. Check this out, guys. Look at this. How pretty is that, right? These are all dinosaur tracks. And all the way here too. Look at this. Cool, right? Yeah, so those cliffs right there, these tracks are exactly under the cliffs on the north side. So what I'll do is I'll leave GPS coordinates in case you want those. And normally I'll sit here on this rock facing these tracks, have my breakfast, and you can see the early morning light right there on the cliffs. Really pretty. And from here the subway is about roughly an hour more to go. Cool beans. Okay guys, so some thoughts on the subway hike while I take a breather. One is that start your hike early in the morning. So what I do is I'll start my hike around sunrise from the parking lot, and it takes me around 2.5 hours to get to Archangel Falls, with plenty of stops in the middle, like this one at the Dinosaur Tracks for breakfast. And the reason you want to start early is because if you arrive late at Archangel Falls, the direct sunlight's hitting the water and it washes out the color, and it's not nice, the photographs, right? If you come early morning, you'll get the beautiful colors on the slick rock. You'll get the water with no direct light, and you'll get that reflected light falling on the cliffs behind Archangel Falls. Secondly, what I would say is try and come here on a clear day. You don't want to come here on a cloudy day because you won't get that glow in the subway. And you also won't get that beautiful reflected light on the cliffs behind Archangel Falls. So try and come on a clear day. Of course, if you have a permit for a cloudy day and that's the only permit you have, then of course come here anyway. It's really pretty. You'll get some great photos. Then I would say definitely stop by at these Dino tracks on the way in. They're halfway in. I've left the GPS coordinates. Don't miss these out. And I would say stop by here on the way in, because on the way out there's direct light, sunlight falling on these tracks, and it's not as nice. And finally, try and come here sometime during spring, the snow melt in April and May. It is spectacular. This entire creek is roaring, so the hike is way harder. You can't just cross the creek in certain places, so you got to scramble over rock and boulders, and it's a hard hike. But the end result is you'll get some amazing photographs at Archangel Falls on the subway, because the water is like flowing with full force. And I'll show you some photographs in the end of Archangel Falls with that water. You'll need a good tripod, of course. You don't want your tripod and your camera being washed away. And come prepared also with good shoes and neoprene socks, etc. But yeah, so those are my tips for the subway. So let's carry on towards Archangel Falls. So it's around 9:20 in the morning, and I've been hiking for around 2 hours. And this is where the last half a mile to 1 mile of scenery gets really pretty. So we are currently at Guardian Fall, and it's really pretty, these cascades. I don't normally stop right here because I find Archangel Fall to be more photogenic. But you guys can stop here on the way in, especially if you come early in the morning, because I try and head to Archangel right away because I don't want to lose the light on Archangel Falls. So if you come early enough, you could actually just stop here and take some photos. It is very slippery, so be careful when coming up. But yeah, that's your Guardian Fall, around 4/5 the distance to the subway. Let's head towards Archangel Fall. So guys, it's been around 2 hours and 20 minutes since I've been hiking, and I have now reached, or almost reached, Archangel Falls. It's really funny because I keep saying 2 hours 20 minutes, and for some reason, even with my stops that are not really the exact same time, I reach here around in about 2 hours 20 minutes or so. But the last mile or so is just gorgeous, you know. And from Archangel Falls, it's around 0.5 miles to the subway, and en route we'll pass the Alcove Falls and the crack. So this is what it looks like, the approach to Archangel Falls. Be very careful of this moss. Look at that, guys. How pretty is that, right? That is Archangel Falls right there. And right above there is Alcove, the Alcove Falls. So this cliff, the cliffside on the back of these falls lights up when the sun's reflected light hits it. And if you come here early in the morning, you won't have any direct light on the fall, so you'll get some great compositions, you know, just with the waterfall. Now I will say that carry a polarizer if you can, because that can cut out reflections, and I'll show you very soon how it looks with a polarizer or without one. I normally spend about an hour or so at these falls. There's so many great compositions to be had, and then I move on to the subway. But as you can see, these cascades are massive, and really, really pretty. So just go up one more level to show you guys how it looks. We do have passing clouds right now, so hopefully the sun comes out and we get some reflected light on the cliffside at the rear of these falls. Now in spring, middle of April through May, these cascades have like roaring water, and it's a little treacherous to climb these falls and photograph them, but you get some awesome images. And the Alcove Fall right now is just a small little trickle, but in another month or so it's gonna be majestic, and I'll show you some photos at the end. I also have a couple of short video clips I'll tack on here, so you'll see how it looks with the spring snow melt. But yeah, this is the Alcove Fall right here, and then you're gonna climb up behind towards the subway. So I'm going to spend an hour or so here, try and take some photos. You can see up there we have passing clouds, so the sun should peek through and light up this cliff face with the reflected light. But really pretty. So here's another shot that I like a lot. You have the water coming from the top right going to your bottom left, and then you have these cliffs lit up with reflected light in the back. So let's take a shot and see how it looks. Okay, so that was fun at Archangel Falls. Got a couple of good shots, and I'm not really stopping at Alcove because it's a trickle right now, you can see. And I've got good shots of it from the spring snow melt, which I'll show you at the end. So I'm gonna head up to the subway, climb up the fall here. And I have a feeling that these clouds are not going anywhere. They keep coming and going, but they seem to be getting thicker. So I might not even stay long enough at the subway because I won't get that glow. What I'll do is I'll go inside right now and give you a tour of the subway and how it looks, and then show you some photographs in the end of the video that'll show you how the subway looks during the summer and the spring snow melt. But yeah, this last half mile from Archangel Fall all the way to the subway is just gorgeous. Okay, so just above the Alcove Fall is a second waterfall that normally during spring the snow melt is impossible to get to, but the water level is so low that it's looking really pretty. Check that out, guys. So we have to go up and the crack is right there, and then we go around the corner towards the subway. But yeah, there are pros and cons to coming here in all seasons. Like I said, my favorite season is spring. A lot of folks like the fall, but I personally like spring for the snow melt, and the waterfall looks amazing. But you can notice right now there isn't much foliage, so if you want the greenery, come sometime in May, June, July. And the fall colors are, I think, October 2nd, 3rd week. You got to find out from the park itself, because those colors go really fast. The leaves blow away with the first wind and they're gone. But yeah, really pretty. So let's head towards the crack, that direction. We're gonna climb up and then head towards the subway and the crack. Alright guys, so I climbed up the second waterfall and now heading towards the subway. And here's a very famous feature called the crack. So the creek water passes through this crack in the slick rock, and it's really fascinating. A lot of photographers come here and make photographs. The standard composition you'll see is something like this, and especially in fall you'll see leaves out here, which I'm sure they place themselves because they are so perfectly placed. But I like it this way in the summer when you have some foliage in the trees in the back. Right now it's completely barren, but you can get some great shots here for sure. It's a very cool feature. And when you walk up and round that corner, you'll see the subway. So once you reach Archangel Fall, then the subway is about half a mile from there, and you essentially get to almost all the features within a 10-minute hike. So again, this area has a lot of water during the spring snow melt, and I'll post a short clip as I'm talking to show you how this place looks in April. I love coming here in April, honestly. It's just a different look. Really hard hike, but fantastic. Okay, so this is now approaching the subway. You can see it's pretty cloudy and there won't be any glow in the subway today. And there is the subway right in front. So this entire area has a lot of water in the spring, which I love. And if you guys do come here in the spring, in April or May, then dress appropriately. I'm wearing my water shoes with neoprene socks, and those should be enough, but a lot of people like to rent gear from the outfitters in Springdale. What's interesting is that during the spring snowmelt, this rock in the subway, which normally is really slippery, is not that slippery anymore because I think all the moss and all gets washed away with the force of the water. So it's actually a good time to come for photography if you are worried about slipping and all. Just make sure you carry your camera gear in a dry bag. I'll leave a link below for the one I use. They're quite cheap, like $15-20 on Amazon. Normally I don't carry a dry bag because not enough water, and I'm very careful about my gear. Okay, so let's show you the approach. So this is the subway. Be very careful of the potholes here, because if you are walking with your GoPro and filming yourself and talking, and you won't see a pothole, you might step into it and enjoy yourself. Oh look, there's a log. I wonder how it got there. Must have been in a flash flood. That won't be very attractive for a photograph either. So okay, so let's go up. These are your famous subway pools, and with the spring snow melt, this place looks stunning, and I'll show you some photographs in the end. So you keep going up. Right now this slick rock is really slippery, and that's the portion you got to be careful of. Look at this log, crazy. Now that in the back is where the hikers from the top down hike come and rappel down and join the bottom up hiking folks. Okay, let me see how slippery this is. Do I need to... Oh man. Okay, I think I can do it. Ah, there you go. Alright. Oh no, there's a bird that died. That's sad. It's actually a piece of wood, not a bird, so the joke's on me. And that's the rear of the subway. You can go back this direction, and there's a small waterfall. I am not doing that because it's really cold. And this is your classic view of the subway. So guys, this is your classic view of the subway for the photographs. During the noon time, when the sun is shining, this lights up with reflected light. So a lot of photographers get this pool in the front and the glow in the back. Best to use an ultra wide lens here if you have one. Otherwise even a 20mm will do well. The other shot is from here, looking to the water forming this leading line going towards the pool and the tunnel in the back. This log is spoiling the entire picture. I shouldn't say spoil. Maybe from my perspective it's spoiling it, but somebody else might like it. My friend Martin loves this log. And yeah, that's your rear, and the top down folks come this way, rappel down, and then come this direction. Very cool features, incredibly scenic. It's pretty crazy how this place changes with the spring snow melt. There is just so much water, it's crazy. I was hoping for a little more water, it being the third week of March, but it's still okay. It's a great hike. I enjoyed it. But right now, you can see it's pretty cloudy, and this log of wood is not doing it for me at all. So what I'll do is I'll show you all the photographs I've taken over my last few trips, and I'll mark them with the months, so you'll know which one was taken during which month, and you can decide when to come. I will say try and come in different seasons, different months, because this place looks pretty amazing and different in different seasons. But yeah, really pretty still. I'm glad I came. And coming early in the morning means there's no one around, you know, so there's solitude. People will start coming in a few more hours. The one thing I'll say is if you have an ultra wide or a wide angle lens, bring those along, because you want these potholes in the foreground, and to get that perspective and get the subway in the rear. And lots of great locations here to get that perspective kind of shot. So if you have one, try and get one. Alright guys, so I just left the subway heading towards Archangel Falls. I'm going to spend some time there, have a snack, maybe try and take some more photos if possible, and then head back. I'm not spending time in the subway because there are clouds, and that log right there is not, I'm not feeling that log at all. So I'll show you the photographs at the end of how it looks in the various seasons, and you can decide when you want to come and plan your trip accordingly. Now, there are 3 ways to get your permits. One is via an advance lottery that runs 2 months prior to the hiking month. The second is calendar reservations that open up 2 months before the hiking months too. So once the lottery runs, if they have any permits remaining or if they have cancellations, you'll find some permits that route. And I've actually found I think 3 of my 7 permits so far using the calendar. And the final way of getting a permit is to apply for the last minute lottery that runs 7 days to 2 days before the hiking date. So it opens up 7 days before your hiking date, and it closes 2 days before the hiking date. And you have good odds of winning that lottery. So try that too. But yeah, it's definitely worth coming. It's a beautiful area, lots of solitude, and like I said, if you can come here in April, middle of April or May, and you like waterfalls and water flow, you love it. Okay, so I'm going to head to Archangel Falls. Alright guys, I am back at the base of the cliff. That is right there, it's a sign. So now I have to climb up all the way until the top right there. And this is the point where I always curse myself for hiking the subway, because it's 400 feet up at around a 45-degree incline on this rocky gravel path. But it takes me around 20 minutes to get up there, so it's not too bad. Yeah, it took me around an hour and 20 minutes from Archangel Falls to get here, which is really fast. Not sure what happened today. Maybe I walked fast and I was well rested, had a lot of fluids, salts, etc. Alright, time to head up there. Alright guys, so I am up on the cliff. It took me around 20 minutes to get up here. So essentially I was down there all the way and had to climb up. You can see that trail right there. It's literally rock and dirt. But yeah, not too bad. 20 minutes, 400 feet. And now it's time to head to the parking lot. Well, that concludes my adventure at the subway in Zion National Park. If you like the video, then like, share, subscribe as always. And until next time, this is the Light Explorer signing out of beautiful Zion National Park.